All right. I just want to share a few things with you. We really need to understand just exactly what it is that's going on.
Video, I'm going to take you guys to multiple locations around the world in both the day and nighttime sky. You're going to see some unusual objects once again that people are seeing around the world that they share their observations with me, and I'm sharing them with you. One of them coming out of Tasmania, just south of Australia. Also in this video, I wanted to touch base on the wildfires. We've been focusing on the wildfires up in Canada all summer long, and these have been going on since the beginning of summer. The major wildfire situation up in Canada, but we also have wildfires too down here in the United States and up in Alaska. You can see wildfires in central Alaska. We have wildfires extending from Washington all the way down to Miami and over into North Carolina and multiple places in between. And we can see here in Texas some newer wildfires that just started here within the last 5 or 6 days. We've got wildfires in Louisiana. And not only are they starting to deal with wildfires in Texas, they've been dealing with extreme heat for several weeks now. And it's going to remain that way. It's going to be hotter in Dallas, Texas than Death Valley, California for the next several days in a row. And now they're starting to deal with wildfires. It's been a very long, hot summer in Texas, and it's going to remain that way for at least a few more days. But we are seeing wildfire activity here in the United States as well. But that's a lot of wildfire activity if you look at the big picture, spanning from Alaska all the way down through western Canada, through the western United States, clear down into the southern tip of Florida. Coming over here to the homepage of the web.
So, why do you think there are so many wildfires? Why is the heat so extreme? Could it be that binary star? Could it be the same reason that all of our other planets in the solar system have already heated up and things are changing on them, including their poles? Now, I want to also show you something else. Speaking of the poles, the pole is typically for the north in Canada, and in the past few years has been rapidly moving from Canada to Siberia. Now, a lot of you know that I've been tracking the pole and doing my due diligence to hold it back. Canada's magnetic um, energy is changing drastically, as is everything else within our Earth's core, all the way out to its surface. A lot of this is our own sun creating it, but also the core of the Earth itself is creating it. And we're going to look at some more of his video for you to understand further just how all of this plays out. And if you really zoom out and look at all of it together, then you can see what's really going on. This is not a conspiracy. This is not weather modification. Some of it could very well be energy weapons, but the majority of this that's going on, train derailments included, this has been a domino effect if you pay attention. If you pay attention and you know what to look for, which is all of the earth changes, including trains derailing and wildfires breaking out everywhere. If you're familiar with things like the Carrington event that FEMA did a whole great big paper on, that's on their website, you're welcome to go and read. It's free to the public. Then you understand the bigger picture here. And I don't show you this to instill fear because I hate fear porn. What I would rather do is encourage you and empower you and educate you to the importance of waking up to who you are and knowing how, in heaven's name, to utilize it. So I want to share some more here.
The website. Today's feature photo was sent in by Darren of the sun behind some thick wildfire smoke, causing the sunrise to appear red. Checking in on the GOES X-ray flux over here at the Space Weather Prediction Center in the middle of a moderate C flare right now as I do this video. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun, all quiet for the time being. Looking at the larger sunspot down here in the southeastern quadrant of the sun, it's smaller today than it was yesterday. Schumann resonance off the charts. It is really cranking right now. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera. Schumann resonance off the charts. It is really cranking right now. Here in the southeastern quadrant of the sun, it's smaller today than it was yesterday. Schumann resonance off the charts. It is really cranking right now. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, looking at the seismographs that monitor the mighty supervolcano. A little bit of earthquake activity up here in the northwestern quadrant of the caldera. Other than that, pretty quiet at the supervolcano. Here's a look at the wildfire smoke from zoom.earth. You don't really notice the wildfire smoke in the United States like you do up in Canada. This has been a record-setting year for wildfires up in Canada, and the wildfires continue. As you can see, the wildfire smoke dipping down into the United States once again today, and the wildfires are still going strong in Alberta and British Columbia. But as I showed you guys on the map earlier, we have wildfires too over here in the United States, in Washington, Oregon, California, Texas, even over in Louisiana, a small one down in southern Florida, and several places in between. I want to take you guys now to the skies of planet Earth. We're going to start down here in Tasmania.
Now, there are wildfires everywhere, and the one in New Orleans that he mentions is actually underground. That's right. The underground is burning. The interior of our planet is heating up from the inside out. Not like spontaneous combustion, but spontaneous combustion on a smaller scale. Cyclical, normal, expected. Why? Because we're in a binary solar system. And our binary star and its entourage of planets, satellites, moons, asteroids, and meteors, and even comets, is within the vicinity of warring with or playing tug of war with our main star. On its journey there, past the other planets in the outer solar system, it created warming on those planets. Global warming. Intense enough that it created pole shifts because the magnetics move. And when the magnetics move, that means the magma is moving underneath of the earth. Hot springs are erupting in places where they weren't before. Volcanoes are becoming active that were dormant for eons. Earthquakes, tsunamis, crazy weather, wildfires, all things that are cyclical and meant to happen in increase as the binary star nears. Magnetic north is moving towards Siberia. Once it gets to a certain point, it will create a magnetic pole shift. This will create Earth's shields to go flatline, 0 point. No shields up to protect us. Unless we know how. We are capable. We are that powerful. All you have to do is believe and then learn a few small techniques. Now, notice my shirt. There's a reason for wearing it for this video. There's a reason in the uptick of sightings of UFO crafts in our skies. There's a reason that there's an uptick in abduction and experience. Yes, it's time to awaken, but they're here to watch how it happens and which road we choose. Watch. I'll show you.
Yeah, this video footage was submitted by Brett from right down here just below Australia, looking out into the nighttime sky at 3:33 in the morning on March 2nd of 2023 when he noticed this solid red light in the early morning hours of March 2nd. And he says in the video that once again was taken at 3:33 in the morning. He's never seen anything quite like this. Appears to be a solid red light, semi-stationary in the nighttime sky. It's difficult to tell, to be honest, because the camera is moving around a little bit. Overall, he did a great job recording this thing, and I zoomed in, so the movement is coming from the camera and quite possibly this object, whatever it may have been, moving through the early morning sky visible from Tasmania. And he just said right there, he goes, I've never seen anything like that. Here's another view of it. It kind of got out of the field of view for just a second. There it is again, remaining solid red the entire time. And here in just a couple of seconds, it disappears, vanishes into thin air. I don't know if that was a drone. Definitely wasn't an airplane or a helicopter. Wasn't making any noise. Just some sort of a unusual red light visible above Tasmania. Going from Tasmania up to Kalamazoo, Michigan. Video footage submitted by Big Al on August 19th of 2023. Video taken at 10:30 p.m. This has similarities to a drone. Sometimes drones have a green light like this. This one, however, is flashing green and white. I don't think it's an airplane. It wasn't making any sound. Doesn't appear to be a helicopter. It was moving at a pretty good speed through the nighttime sky. I zoomed in on this first segment of the video, and then it kind of goes out of the field of view here for just a couple of seconds, then it comes back into the field of view. A little bit of that's because I zoomed in on the object, trying to get a better look at it. Here's where it disappears for a few seconds, and then right here, it comes back into the field of view, moving across the screen from left to right, and this thing was moving through the sky at a pretty good clip. I don't know what this was. It could have been a drone above Kalamazoo. It was a large green, unidentifiable light in the nighttime sky. I want to take you guys now to Sun City, Arizona. We've seen a green light, a red light. Now we're going to see a white light or some sort of a white object in the daytime sky spotted by Valerie. Video goes back to April 8th of 2020 when she noticed this white object cruising through the sky above Sun City, Arizona. The original video over here on the left, it was a vertical video. I zoomed in over here on the right. I'm going to put this in fast forward as it's nearly 4 minutes long, and the object was moving. You can tell there's nothing hanging off of the bottom of that thing, and the changes in shape are because of the camera movement. Valerie did an excellent job recording this thing, but it was moving at a pretty good clip through the daytime sky above Sun City, Arizona. That video goes back to April of 2020. Great job. Now we're going from Arizona to Polk, Ohio. Video footage by Connie going back to April of 2023 when she noticed this huge craft in the nighttime sky way off in the distance, and she zooms in on it, and this is not a collection of Chinese lanterns. All of these lights that you see are attached to something larger, moving through the sky, making no sound, and again, she emphasized that this thing was indeed huge, and it was one object. These lights are attached to something larger in the sky. And I'm sharing this video with you guys because I have something else that kind of aligns with this video you're seeing here. This is visible in the nighttime sky. I'm going to show you guys something in the daytime sky that is also very large but a long ways away from the viewer. and I'm wondering if it was something like this. This is difficult to tell what shape it is. It just looks like a large craft of some sort loaded with lights that are blinking and lights that are stationary. There's a blinking light over here on the right, and there's a blinking light over here on the left. And here I simply inverted the format. I was just trying to pull forward any possible features that I could. And as you can clearly see, I could not. It was too far away and the skies were too dark. Here's another format where you can see the lights pretty good, but still you can't see the craft. That's what I was trying to pull forward, was the body of this thing. Those lights are definitely attached to something that was above Polk, Ohio, back in April of 2023. Excellent video by Connie. Now I want to share with you guys a sunset that involves what looks like a large craft way off in the distance. Video by Christopher, August 5th of 2023 at 6:25 p.m. When he noticed this way off in the distance, and he's heavily zoomed in as you can see right there from that point of view, but watch over here on the left-hand side of the video. You're going to see something appear into the field of view, traveling from left to right, and I'm going to zoom in on that object, whatever it may have been, that looks like an intelligently designed craft. Check it out. You're starting to see it come into the field of view right now. There's something else going on over here. That's what originally caught his attention. And as you're going to see, there appears to be multiple objects or something going on over here that doesn't look like a normal cloud. Let's put it that way. This thing over here on the left is definitely not a normal cloud. And as you're going to see here in just a second, I zoom in on this thing and I even invert the format. It looks like a giant craft way off in the distance. I mean, this thing was several miles from his location, and even as far away as this thing was, it's still revealing features. It looks like it's of intelligent origin. That thing doesn't look like a random cloud. And here coming up right after this segment, let me pause that real quick so you guys can see what I was talking about. You see what looks like two sides to this thing, a left side and a right side that appear to be the same length. It looks like it's of intelligent design. Here it is inverted, light is dark, dark is light, and I'll pause it here too, right there. See what I mean? Looks like a big V over there in the sky, big horseshoe way up in the distance, many miles away from his location, and I'm not exactly sure where Christopher was at. I'm waiting to hear back from Christopher on the exact location of this object that he spotted way off in the sky during sunset in August of 2023. Great job, guys. Keep the photos and videos coming. If you guys have any photos you'd like to share, you
Now, first of all, they're out there watching. They're watching what we're doing. Some of us they're picking up and assisting us in various ways, whether it be healing or knowledge downloads, if you will. But they're also paying attention to all of the earth changes, all of the different things that are going on, what people are really saying about these events. And nobody, I mean, nobody but me is going to tell you the truth about this. And that's guaranteed. That's guaranteed, absolutely. They're not going to talk about it. They're not supposed to talk about it because it would create fear and panic and such. And I don't want that either. But I want you to be educated. And I want you to be well prepared. Now, God said to me very loudly to be prepared a long time ago. And I went through the typical scenarios like everyone else, learned survival knowledge, gathered all of the herbal books I could possibly collect and learn every single thing I could learn about herbs that are native to my area and other places so that I knew what was good for everybody in the hopes that communication would still exist in some means after the fact. I have bug out bags. I have stores of water, etc. But the true preparation is within. The true preparation that you need is knowing thyself, just like Jesus said. That's why I'm here to finish this message, because you need to hear it before this shit hits the fan. Otherwise, You have to only depend on your bug out bag and how much knowledge you have in survival. If you know thyself, we don't have to live that way. I personally will survive, whichever road we take, as will my children and my loved ones, because they've all been taught well and they are prepared for whichever scenario is to take place. It is collectively up to us. The balance has to be tipped one direction or the other. That's what chooses which road we take. Many indigenous people have prophesied about this. They've been trying to tell you for eons. The Sumerians told you, the Mayans told you, all of the Native Americans told you, the Aborigines from Australia, Hawaii. They all know. They've all tried to leave some form of evidence for you. I should hope that this being the Great Awakening, that this is that moment in time when you become aware of those things so that you can then become aware of Jesus' true message, that you too can go forth and do the same great works as he and more, more, because we can put that shield around the planet the way we put a shield around ourselves or our babies. We can call in the rain to quiet the fires and disperse the energy of earthquakes into multiple channels rather than just the one. Direct the magma chambers in the same format. We can do so much together. If you would like more information, there is a link down below of how to reach me. Together, we are who we've been waiting for. We're the heroes in this story, the ones that will be in all of the history books and storybooks for eons after us. The choice is always yours. We're all going to see each other on the other side regardless. Be well and be blessed in love and light.